So let's actually talk about this whole circus because honestly, I don't know whether to laugh or cry at how unserious it looks. Aemilst and Aekims hyped up this dramatic moment of them going to court for justice. Remember, she literally promised she was finally going to clear up the accusations about her husband's job and her religion, right? And honestly, when she posted this, I thought she was going to tell about her husband's job and their religion. Instead, she swerved and dropped this whole "we went to court for justice" storyline. And not just that, she served it with aesthetic Instagram photos, cinematic captions, and a vibe that screams Wattpad mafia couple goes to trial. Like, girl, you were supposed to be addressing questions about whether your husband even has a real job, not staging a courtroom editorial spread. It feels less like truth and more like deflection. Like she wanted to distract everyone with dramatics rather than actually answering anything. And let's just sit on this court thing for a second. What exactly do you think you're achieving by dragging yourself into a courtroom over hate comments and faceless IDs? Who even sues anonymous accounts? Imagine a judge sitting there hearing out cases like land disputes, real financial fraud, criminal acts, and then suddenly, boom, two influencers walk in, holding hands, looking like they're about to film a Netflix pilot, and their complaint is, "Your Honor, someone on Instagram called me a liar." Do you not realize how unserious that sounds? Judges are not there to babysit your comment section. If anything, you're wasting their time. Platforms themselves struggle to trace burner accounts unless there's some criminal activity involved, and even then, the process takes months and a lot of legal backing. This whole "we'll unmask the fake IDs" thing is just another empty scare tactic meant to silence critics. And now Aemilst is out here saying, "We've been fighting this for a year like it's some epic saga," when in reality, girl, you're literally talking about faceless IDs on Instagram. Like, imagine being an influencer, someone who voluntarily puts their life online for attention, but then spending a whole year of your actual life trying to fight random haters instead of just doing the most basic thing, blocking them. Like, that's free. It takes 0.3 seconds to tap block. But no, you'd rather run to court, hug in the courtroom, snap aesthetic pics, and make it look like some mafia romance film trailer. And the irony is so strong here because if it really was cyberbullying, if it really was threats or blackmail, you could have posted a serious, calm story saying, "Hey, someone's threatening us. Here's proof. Here's how we're dealing with it." People would have taken that seriously. But instead, you chose to play dress up, dropping dramatic captions like "four walls, one justice," with moody photos, and basically using the court as your own photoshoot set. Like, is this some kind of joke? What's even more obvious is that this whole "we're fighting cyberbullying" act isn't really about anonymous bullies. It's about the people who exposed them. They don't want the public talking about what Aemilst said, what she did, or what contradictions exist around her husband's career and her religious claims. They want everyone scared, thinking, "Oh no, they'll sue us if we expose them." It's intimidation dressed up as victimhood. And honestly, it's exhausting. If you're really being blackmailed with private photos, post proof, be serious, and actually raise awareness about real online abuse. But if this is just about people calling you out, then this whole court aesthetic thing is just one giant smoke bomb to distract from the real questions you're avoiding. Take a look on this, invading my privacy. Like, excuse me? Privacy? Girl, you gave up privacy the second you decided to make a career out of filming yourself and your husband in borderline softcore clips for clout. You can't scream about privacy being invaded when your husband is literally groping you on camera when you yourself post intimate, touch-heavy content for likes and attention. That's you actively serving your personal life up on a platter, packaging intimacy into TikTok-ready clips, and then crying foul when people talk about it. Privacy isn't something you can turn on and off like a ring light. If you choose to broadcast your life, curate your romantic moments, and basically blur the line between personal and public, you don't get to suddenly pull the privacy card when things get uncomfortable. That's selective vulnerability, and it's manipulative as hell. And then we have the hypocrisy. Because let's be real, what is Aemilst and Aekims' brand built on? They're not just wholesome creators making cooking tutorials or travel vlogs. They push soft, corny, spicy content on social media with suggestive photos, borderline NSFW poses, and captions that blur the line between influencer and OnlyFans promo. That's literally their bread and butter. They profit off thirst traps, off sexualized content, off manufacturing this forbidden couple vibe. And yet now they want to cry in court about being victims of cyberbullying? You can't have it both ways. You can't play innocent when you actively cultivate a brand that thrives on provocation. Like, don't act shocked when people react or criticize. It comes with the territory. Every influencer who steps into that lane knows the risks. And the gag is, you don't sue people for that. You build thicker skin, or you address criticism with transparency. Running to court just exposes how fragile your image really is. And the Instagram stories. My God. If you really believe you're on this serious justice mission, why are you posting 4 walls, 1 justice captions with moody photos in an empty courtroom? Why are you hugging for the camera in black outfits, staring into the void like a couple in a movie poster? It's not activism. You don't prove innocence by distracting everyone with aesthetic content. Like, imagine taking a cameraman with you to court so he or she can click spicy photos of you. Like, when lawyers are there to discuss you grabbing each other's hand, they be kicking you out first. Like, if you are so serious about this matter, then be serious. People are literally laughing at you cause of those pics of you outside and inside courtroom. And is this even legal to take photos inside of courtroom? Make it make sense. You're crying about bullying and lies, but you still haven't cleared up the actual lies people accuse you of spreading. That's the part that gets me. Instead of addressing the elephant in the room, questions about jobs, religion, authenticity, they're weaponizing the word cyberbullying to dodge accountability. Because if you frame every criticism as bullying, you don't have to answer to it. And that's the manipulation at play here. They're not addressing the truth, they're distracting with the threat. And oh, look at what Aemilst saying, you tried to break our marriage, now don't beg for mercy. Like, who is even doing that? Who is trying to break their marriage? All people out here want is truth. Like, guys, come on. And the thing is, even after this stressful life, they got time to edit their photos, put on captions. And Hakeem, please find a real job. Wearing a suit isn't making you look like a CEO, seriously. Just try normal clothing someday. I swear it will be more comfortable. So apparently, we're now living in a timeline where hate comments and murder are on the same level. Like, that's the logic we're dealing with here. She really typed this whole thing out thinking she just destroyed the haters with a galaxy brain take, but all she did was expose how unserious she actually is. Imagine comparing people clowning your over-sexualized TikToks to someone committing an actual crime like murder. The audacity is insane. Nobody's defending murderers, girl. What people are saying is that you don't sue random minors and faceless accounts just because your ego couldn't handle some emojis and criticism. And exposing you with proofs? If you can't handle that, maybe step away from posting thirst traps with your husband every day. And the suing part, don't even get me started. Who exactly are you suing? A faceless account with a Naruto profile picture? A 15-year-old who commented L ratio? You're trying to scare people into silence because you can't stand being called out. And then she slips in that they've been fighting this for a year. A year? Over hate comments? Like, I'm sorry, but you've spent 365 days crying about this instead of blocking, moving on, or addressing it in a professional way? What does that even mean? Fighting how? Posting passive-aggressive Instagram stories and dramatic rants? At this point, it's not bullying. It's just you holding on to a grudge against the internet instead of actually telling the truth. What makes it even more embarrassing is that if they were actually being threatened with serious stuff, like doxing, stalking, or blackmail, they would have gone to the police. That's what any normal person does. But instead, they're here making Instagram stories comparing haters to murderers, which makes it so obvious this is about critics, not criminals. They're not being harassed, they're being exposed, and they hate it. This whole performance is just a scare tactic to distract people from the real accusations. And the funniest part? They want to play the morality card, acting like they're these wholesome role models, when the very thing they built their platform on is sexual content pushed in front of kids on TikTok. Like, let's be honest, if you're really that concerned about what minors are exposed to online, maybe stop posting hyper-sexualized content on a platform full of minors. Because right now, it just looks like you're fine with kids watching you grope each other. But the second a teenager calls you out on it, you scream harassment and privacy invasion. At the end of the day, this isn't activism. It isn't about awareness, and it definitely isn't about protecting anyone. This is about power and control. They're trying to silence criticism under the guise of stopping cyberbullying, when in reality, they just can't take accountability. And honestly, the only thing being murdered here is common sense. At the end of the day, what's the real takeaway? It's that this entire courtroom saga wasn't about justice at all. It was about performance. It was about shifting the conversation, about buying time, about painting themselves as victims of a cruel online world while ignoring the valid questions people have. And honestly, that's what makes this whole thing so frustrating. Because yes, cyberbullying is real, and yes, it can have serious effects, but when you cheapen it by turning it into a PR stunt, when you make it part of your brand aesthetic, when you use it to silence critique instead of addressing it, you're not helping anyone. You're just making a mockery of it. So if you ask me what the point of going to court was, the answer is there was no point. Except clout, except distraction, except performance. Because no judge is about to waste hours unmasking a faceless ID that left you a mean comment. No serious lawyer is devoting their skills to hunt down a minor with a Finsta. And no amount of black and white courtroom selfies is going to erase the fact that you dodged the real issues people wanted addressed. Like they both are pushing 30s. And look at this, what is this? First you make a provocative content, spread lies, and then get mad when people want truth or they start exposing you. Then you want justice, like of what? Because some people out here telling truth about you, or you actually going through some serious cyberbullying. Even address it properly. The kids in your comment section is confused and they should be because they are so dramatic. Like at least tell properly what is happening. And the thing is, most of them don't even know what is happening, but the kissing butt thing is still alive, and many of them asking what is happening. Let's wait for more update from her, and I will keep you guys updated.